My last video tonight, I'm going to talk about Contrapoints, talking about cancel culture and why they should drop the pitchforks. Because there is this trope on the left that it always eats its own. And a lot of left movements basically got in it because they always eat themselves in a progressive stack. You know what I'm saying? Basically, in a progressive stack means like the less privileged you are in society, in their POV, the more victim points you got. So basically, like, you can say whatever you want if you got more victim status, and if you got less victim status, you can't say as much. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be shut down by an outrage mob. You know what I'm saying? By like pitchforks, basically. And like Contrapoints said, they have a teensy bit of rated terror situation on their hands, likely in cancel culture to a milder digital version of the show trials and public executions led by Maximilian Robespierre during the French Revolution. Yeah, it's absolutely, let's say, Stalinist. Basically, like, you're guilty, and you gotta prove that you're innocent. Like this whole like the whole Kavanaugh nonsense, you know what I'm saying? Basically, like, he was guilty of raping, in the, you know what I'm saying, on the left minds, he was guilty of raping Christine Blasey Ford, but Christine Blasey Ford lied. It was an absolute lie, and Kavanaugh got screwed hard by the Me Too culture the left is advocating. And one of the strongest voices of the left, Contrapoints, one of the more persuasive voices on the left, got canceled. Just because she made a comment that was interpreted as heretical, spending the second half of the video explaining the emotional harm she got suffered by the unfair attacks coming from fellow folks in the trans community. You know what I'm saying? Like the trans activists. Trans activists can get a bit out of hand. Especially how they're dealing with feminists. You know what I'm saying? Like the second wave feminists. Basically, like, the trans activists are calling like the second wave feminists TERFs. You know what I'm saying? Because TERFs don't want men in their spaces. And seeing as Contrapoints is a trans woman, she's also a trans lesbian, but let's keep that real here. That's basically meaning Contrapoints is a straight male. Yeah, Contrapoints is basically a straight male LARPing as a lesbian. Let's keep it 100 here. But yeah, Wynn explains how this bizarre accusation was made crueler by the three aspects of cancel culture: presumption of guilt, abstraction, essentialism. First, those who joined the pile-on recite accusation over and over again, and there's no doubt it was true. A cardinal rule of believe the victims' Me Too activism, like I mentioned with the whole Kavanaugh story. Then the specificity of the allegation became laws, and those who attacked Charles began to accuse him of toxic. We're talking about James Charles, who also got canceled earlier. Finally, Charles was no longer being accused of toxic behavior, being toxic itself, and all proven the accusation non-ideal behavior morphed into a statement as Charles as a person. Like cancel culture just can be vicious. Basically, like, everybody's trying to be the wokest, the most oppressed, have the most oppression points. Like see this here, like this comment here, like Contrapoints makes the reasonable statements, whereas 20-year-olds in full-on boy mode who are like, "Hi, I'm a trans woman, she, her pronouns." I think there was a gap in understanding the result. The younger generation gets frustrated with me because they don't understand my upbringing, how I do things. Sometimes I have difficulty understanding them. It's pretty strange, really, since the age difference is like not much wider than senior freshman, but it's a world of difference. Yeah, it's basically saying the younger generation don't really understand nuance. Basically, it's like my way or the highway. Even just look at JK Rowling. Like, basically, they're canceling JK Rowling off of making a reasonable statement about women, biological women. And she's refusing to apologize to the trans activists, which I give her a whole boatload of credit for standing up to real women. I mean, seriously, like the whole Maya Forrester case, she got fired just because she misgendered a biological male who referred to himself as they. I mean, what's going on in England? I mean, what is going on? Just in the whole Anglo-speaking world, it's all going through like this trans agenda. Like basically, like you can't really say anything that goes against their narrative. You say anything that goes against their narrative, they're going to try to silence you. And they tried to silence J.K. Rowling. Like Glad wanted to have a one-on-one discussion with her, but she refuses to budge. And I'll give J.K. Rowling a lot of credit. I mean, she got fuck you money, so they can't really cancel her. Basically, and this is like a huge, this is pretty huge for the culture war. Because, we all assumed like J.K. Rowling was going to like cringe, beg forgiveness, and then attempt to improve re-education techniques after the woke enforcement mob basically was trying to, basically like labeling her as a turf. Like on social media, she got worse treatment than, she was seen as bad as Trump, especially in the couple of days after she made that tweet about biological women being real. It was just a reasonable, common sense statement. And gladly, Ricky Gervais stepped up to J.K. Rowling's defense. And he's getting attacked as transphobic by the trans activists, but he's not budging, unlike a certain celebrity named Mark Hamill, who did suck up to the woke scolds because he liked the tweet that J.K. Rowling's tweet. It's getting out of hand, folks. Hopefully by the end of this year, the cancel culture, woke crowd will lose their influence on society. I got a feeling it's going to be an end of all of that in 2020. Especially considering the pushback is coming, coming from like folks on their side, like JK Rowling, and Ricky Gervais. They're pushing back on this woke nonsense, on this trans woke nonsense. Seriously. It's time it's time for all of this go woke, go broke nonsense to end, but we'll see what happens at the end of the year. So please follow me on Twitter, JohnClem310. Subscribe for more interesting anti-social justice, libertarianish like content. Alright, peace out.